Hello everyone, welcome back. Well guys and gals, I wanted to talk about some mulch boxes that I built around my fig trees. So I've been having problems with the fig trees just not growing. Just have not been doing anything. I've been using, say, fish mulch, fish emulsion or whatever it is, fertilizer on it. Doing some Miracle Grow water soluble fertilizer with water stakes, and just no matter what I do, I just cannot get these things to grow. And so I finally took some advice and was asking on the forum for a while, just explaining the problem, and people kept saying, Kevin, you need to mulch around the fig trees. Like, okay. Well, the first mulch box I built was this one, and it was last year. Did an experiment, year-long experiment. And this fig tree that has not hardly put on any growth in the past couple of years, after I built the mulch box and spread some aged chicken manure around it, and a little bit more, all this is new growth. It put on almost 2 feet of new growth last year, from there down to there. And so I was happy with that, and I did not do anything really different with this one except for the mulch box, and just really nothing bit different. I took some aged chicken manure, a few other things put in here, and boom, 2 foot of growth last year. Okay, well, I built this box, and for some reason, I do not know why, I overlapped it here. These boards are 2x6, pressure treated 2x6s, 8 foot long, that I just cut in half. But whenever I started building the box, I wanted it to look nice. Form over what is it, oh crap. But anyway, I brought this out, then I realized that I have lost 3 inches of width. That 1.5 inches here, 1.5 inches over there, that this box could have been 3 inches wider on the sides than it is right now. So then this year I decided to build boxes around the rest of them. And this one here, my cousin gave me this little big tree last year, and the winter hit it pretty hard, but it's got some little green shoots coming off of it, so it's still with us, and I'm going to give it every opportunity I can. Now, some of y'all are probably looking inside this box and, Kevin, what's all this? Well, I went to the store, bought some cow manure and some compost, and put it in here along with chicken manure. But Kevin, chicken manure, burn that fig tree. It's aged chicken manure. It's been in the chicken house for months and months and months. It's not going to hurt it. And you may notice, some of y'all may notice, there's some oats in here. And what happened was one of my dogs tore open one of my containers that was in a super pail. Well, I wanted the bucket for something, so I took the container that was in the super pail, and the Mylar bag that was inside the bucket, I took it out and set it in a room. One of my dogs, for some reason, tore open the bag and started eating oats. And so I was kind of fussed at her a little bit, but it's all good. And so, big super pail of oats, been tore into by a dog. So I just came out here and dumped them in and just mixed it all in. And so on this one here, on the new ones, what I did was I came in and put them corner to corner. You see that? So they're corner to corner, and so I got my full 8 feet, not 8 feet, 4 foot square, where this one here is like 3'9" one direction and 4 foot the other direction. And so this past week I sprinkled in some triple 13, some Epsom salt, not triple 13, triple 8, some Epsom salt, some bone meal, with all the organic stuff that I've put in there. And this one here, I feel is doing pretty good. This is what the box looks like that I have not completed yet. These pressure treated 4x4s, I cut these 11 inches long. Then whenever I put them together, I used a framing square along right here, squared it up, and I did 2 of them. And then whenever I came out here, I put another little small square, squared it up, and screwed it all together. Used outdoor decking screws to screw into the 4x4. And then whenever I'm going to be pulling this grass out of here, whenever I stack the boards on top of each other, I just took a little piece of grass or something and put on there like that. So I gave it a 1/16 or 1/8 space, so whenever the boards get wet and they expand, they'll have that little bit of space for them to feel before they start pushing against each other. But so far with this, I've got 1.5 inches of growth just in the past month or so, which I'm very happy with. I'm very happy with this. And something else that I did, a timber company has been clear cutting near my house. And after I put the manure and the compost and everything down, and I need to do this again, I went to where they were clear cutting, and I got probably 6 5-gallon buckets of wood chips. This is bark and other stuff. Cut the trees down, run them through a delimber, cuts the limbs off, but also at the same time, it produces this bark. So I've got just right now, just access to buckets and buckets and buckets of wood bark, pine bark, and there's some wood chips in there too. And this one here, I planted this one here several years ago, and it's so messed up right now because I took a rake and I've just kind of all roughed it up. But you can see that pine bark in here also. See there, all that. I'll be going back and getting some more. I've been pulling the grass out of it. And this one here finally came out. It's looking okay. And this one here, my cousin gave me this one here too last year, and it is barely coming out. See that little green spot right there? So I'm gonna give it every chance it can. I'm gonna give it all the opportunity it can to make something of itself. And so in a few months, we're gonna come back, take a look at this tree, and we'll see how it's just starting above the ground, and hopefully it's 2 feet tall here in the next couple of months. Well, guys and gals, there's my mulching boxes for the fig trees. Hope y'all like it. Tips, suggestions, anything would be good. I'm going to have a total, I'm looking at a total of around 6, maybe 7 fig trees, some plums. I'm transplanting some wild plums in here. And then the pears will be next year. Pears will be next year. I've already got a couple of pear trees here, but I'm going to plant them in here. Well, guys and gals, let me know what you think. What would you change? What would you do? I know that by using the 2x6s, I know that my mulch is a certain depth. I know that those 2x6s are 5.5 inches tall. They're fit flush on the ground. So come over here. We know that the edge of that mulch there is about 5.5 inches, and it's starting to settle. Every time it rains, it settles a little bit more. I'm going to go get some more pine chips. It's about time to start cutting the grass, and all the grass clippings will go in here too. But I need to also finish this box here. All right, guys and gals, that's it for now. I will talk to y'all later.